Hey everybody, it's Ryan and Andrew Tucker. Welcome back to How Farms Work. We are getting the planter ready to go because it's looking like the weather is going to work out for us and we're going to be able to get something in the ground in the next coming days. Andrew, what are we doing?
Well, I came out here, Travis and I have been talking about what needs to be gone through on the planter. We had one airbag that was leaking a little bit on the precision planting reveal system, so we got that taken care of. The vacuum sensor we wanted to check, we just had it assigned to the wrong row, so we weren't getting a good reading there. Got that figured out in the monitor, and then we had one of the tubes that delivers the seed that actually was caught, and so the tube didn't have the adjustment. So we just ran it out in the field a little bit, make sure everything was working, got everything fixed that needed to be fixed. I think Travis got everything greased up, so this planter is ready to roll tomorrow. So the other thing I wanted to do is talk to you a little bit about Awaken FlowBoost, which is a graphite talc replacement for the seed to help with flowability, because one big thing that happens to seed, especially with the treatment that's already on it, is you can get bridging and you don't get good singulation, you don't get where the seeds drop off the meters as timely as we want to. So we got a new product this year that I'm really excited about. I've been waiting for it to come on the market for the past couple of years, and we got some inside, so let's go take a look. So right here is a pail of Awaken FlowBoost. This is a product that, like I said, is a direct graphite talc replacement. So it's going to help with seed flowability. If you have center fill systems, it'll help the seed go from your center fill hopper on the planter out to the meters efficiently. And then once it's in the meters, it's going to help it cling to that disc and then drop evenly, so we don't have any static electricity that can sometimes bridge seed up right in the meter. We want every seed dropping in a timely manner. So the guys that came up with Awaken FlowBoost figured out some of the disadvantages of your standard 80-20 mix. Especially when it gets humid outside, we have trouble with seed delivery and seed dropping evenly. It'll stick together. So they've formulated a replacement for that graphite talc, and then they put some key micronutrients in there. So this actually has a pretty decent concentration of zinc, along with molybdenum. And here's the label right here. It's a 5% phosphorus, available phosphorus there, 1% iron, 3% manganese, 2.5% molybdenum, and 10.5% zinc. There are some other graphite talc replacements on the market, but the ones that I have seen do not have molybdenum in it, which is a pretty key micronutrient that we sometimes forget about. I don't have a whole lot of products that have molybdenum in it, and getting them right on the seed is a really good way of efficiently getting that to the plant without having to spend a fortune. You know, if we're doing a broadcast application or foliar, we're putting a lot of it out there, but it might not all get to the seed where we intend it to go. Putting it on as a seed treatment, it's going to be right there. As that plant needs those nutrients, it's going to absorb them and take them up. So one of these buckets, this is 600 ounces. So it's 3 ounces per unit of seed. So one of these boxes will treat 200 units of seed. So either 200 bags of corn or 200 bags of beans. And so this will treat quite a bit. So we're going to try some of that this year. We're going to do some side-by-sides to see how it pays off, do some tissue tests, see if we're getting that zinc and molybdenum into the plants like we want to. The other thing that we're going to look at this year, there's been a lot of talk on the market about biologicals, and do we have the right ratio of fungi and bacteria in our soils? We joke around, somewhat jokingly, that we know more about outer space than we do about the 6 inches of soil beneath our feet. So we're trying to learn more about that. What is it that when we spread manure makes that soil so healthy? A lot of times we'll see a manure application and they just have amazing crops afterwards. So we got a lot of nutrients, micronutrients and macronutrients in manure. But part of it is, what else is coming through the intestines, the gut of the animals that we get the manure from that's going to the soil and giving us a benefit there too. So I've been doing some research, looking at different products, and we're going to try a few of them this year just to see what kind of results we get. One of those products is Mycomaxx Plus. So it comes in bags like this, and this is 5 different strains of fungi spores and 2 different strains of bacteria. And what we've learned over the years is that we want a good ratio, really a 1-to-1 ratio of fungi and bacteria in the soil. And typically in an unhealthy soil, we'll see upwards to 50 to 1 bacteria to fungi. So, what is it that we can do as good stewards of the land and as farmers to help build that, that healthy ratio. A lot of it's products that you've seen us use, like the Black Label Zinc, the Mycomaxx, products like that, Accomplish and Extract. Those all have a part in giving us healthy soils, breaking down residue, feeding the microbes that are out there in the soil. This Mycomaxx essentially is spores of the fungi and bacteria that are beneficial to us. So we want to put some of these spores out with the seed. And I've had some of this bag go out for testing already. This is what it looks like. It's very similar to like pixie dust as a carrier. And then it's got those spores in it. So I've weighed out what we already used in this bag, and we treated 50 units of seed. This is an 80 unit container right here. So this will treat 80 bags, or I'm sorry, this will treat 80 acres. So that's 80 acres worth. We want to treat the beans that are going to be planted tomorrow. So that bean field, we're going to really push yield on. We've got a really exciting new soybean from Asgrow, 29XF4, that we're going to plant down there. Some of the only bags that I know of that we got all the way up this far north in the state of Wisconsin. We got the right ratio. Now I can put the lid on this, and then I'm just going to mix it up a little bit to get it evenly distributed. Looking forward to putting that on. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this container, and as the seed goes in that planter tomorrow, we're going to mix this in with the seed and see what kind of results we can get. So we're pushing for 100 bushel beans down there. Obviously we need to have the right weather and rainfall and things to do that. But where those beans are going, we know we have lots of potential. We just really have never been able to get the yield that we know that soil is capable of. We're going to do some soil tests. We're actually going to, we call them biome tests. We're going to check for the fungi and bacteria levels in that field, look for the beneficial bugs that we want to see down there. We'll know what the ratios and the levels are. We're going to put this with the seed to try to build those. And at the end of the year, we'll be looking forward to seeing what the results are.
We just fired up the 8235R. We've got the Earthmaster 3000 VT on the back. So Travis asked me a little bit earlier to go VT this, but I held off because it started to rain. It's 7:15 now, and it looks like the rain's pretty well past us. I'm gonna go across the road and start VTing. Dad tried earlier, but it was still a little bit too wet yet. But it was really windy today, so by now, even with the little sprinkle that we got, it should be fine, but we'll go across the road and see. Starting a couple years ago, what we started doing was we would chisel the corn ground in the fall, and it would be going to beans in the spring. So in the spring, we'd come through with the VT, and what we started doing was we would harrow it before the planter instead of after the planter. And I think we're pretty happy with that, because what we were getting before was that we feel like we were covering the beans up after with the aggressive harrow that we've got. If we haven't had a different kind of harrow, maybe we would do it in a different order, but with the harrow that we've got, we started using it before the planter, and we seemed like that did a really good job at smoothing things out and breaking down those large clumps. So 82 is pretty well fired up and ready to go now, so let's head across the road. You can see what Dad hit earlier. It's dried out a lot. I don't know if it's just because I have a quantifiable number of calves, but this year just feels different. I don't know if it's just because I got the extra added stress from the number of calves that I'm worried about. If that's the case, next year ought to be interesting. folks, we're wrapping things up and calling it a night. First thing in the morning, we're going to try planting, provided we don't get any more rain overnight, which things are looking pretty good. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work. And with that, we'll see you next time.